Hello and welcome to another edition of An English Guy Watching Wrestling. I'm the English Guy, I'm Nick. Thank you so much for clicking on another video. And in today's video, we're going to be covering the February 10th edition of AEW Dynamite. And what night! Incredible show. And a lot of incredible moments on this show. With that being said, let's go right to review. Opening match was Darby Allin defending the AEW TNT Championship against Joey Janela. Now, these two men are no strangers to one another. They've had some brutal matches in the past. Darby Allin and Joey Janela are two of the most fearless wrestlers on the planet. And whilst this is not a hardcore match, as these two men have had before, this was a superb way to open the show. Both men really know how to put on a good match no matter what they do and how they do it. And this was no exception. I thought this was a cracking way to open Dynamite. And it was everything I thought it would be when knowing how good Joey Janela has been recently after coming back from a small injury from before in AEW. And Darby Allin, of course, the TNT champion and the most unorthodox and unique enigma, shall we say, in AEW. But it's what drawn fans' attention. And, you know, this was just a superb example of what both men can do. And I really thought this was a stunning match between these two. I've seen them have more brutal matches, but as a straight up normal match, I couldn't fault it. This was great stuff. And it was great to see Joey get a shot like this because he works so hard. And I really like Joey Janela, but also I really like Darby Allin, sorry. But this was the kind of match you want to see open an episode of Dynamite. And, you know, thumbs up to what was a cracking opener. So well done to both Darby and Joey Janela. And Darby Allin won with the coffin drop. And his continuous reign is ongoing, shall we say. So that was good. Not sure if that made any sense, but I'm going to use it anyway. Okay. Next match was Lee Johnson and Cody Rhodes versus Peter Avalon and Cesar Bononi. Now, of course, Lee Johnson is part of the Nightmare family. And before this matchup, he was 29-0 in losses. He'd never won a match in AEW in his whole career until this match. And of course, Lee Johnson also, I will say this, has officially signed to AEW. And well done to him, because I like Lee Johnson. I think he's great. And this was yet another match, I think, where guys who were on Dynamite were starting to build a reputation, start to show what they can do. And Lee Johnson was one of those. Getting a chance on Dynamite, finally picking up a win and getting a pinfall, we'll say, of Peter Avalon. And this was actually overall a good tag match. And the dynamic between Cody and Lee Johnson was there to see. And I will say, it's Peter Avalon and Bononi, they're starting to show a lot more chemistry as well. I like them as a tag team. And Peter Avalon is still doing the gimmick where he doesn't want to get hit in the face because he's pretty Peter Avalon. It's so funny to watch, but it's so entertaining as well. And it's great to see Lee Johnson build momentum. And I will say this, I've been watching Lee Johnson since he started in AEW. And he was good when he started, I will say this, but as time's gone on, he's gotten better and better. And I think, you know, he's going to continue to rise, and good luck to him, because I like Lee Johnson. I think he's really good. Cody Rhodes, always reliable. You can never, ever fault. And I think he got injured in this match. A slightly torn rotator cuff, but hopefully not a very serious injury overall. He's had a share of injuries, that's the problem. But I really did enjoy this match. So, yes, another AEW match where they're starting to give the talent a bit more of a push. Lee Johnson obviously being that man in this case, so well done. Next match was Pac versus Nick Namath. Now, of course, Namath is Dolph Ziggler's brother, and he is starting to get a little bit of recognition in AEW, but his matchup against Marco Stunt on AEW Dark, I think, was more to show what he could do. This match, he didn't get a chance to show what he could do fully, because Pac won the match in 4 minutes and I think 2 seconds, if memory serves correctly. But again, yeah, I thought this match was going to be entertaining. It was, and Pac got most of the offense, as I thought he would. I was hoping a little bit more from Namath, but it was mostly Pac in this match, to be honest. And it's not to say that it wasn't entertaining, because Pac is still one of the best to watch in AEW. There's nothing he can't really do and make it look so good. And I'm not saying that because it's a fellow Englishman. I'm saying it because he is that good. But this was a fun short little match, but thumbs up to both men. Next match was a match I was really looking forward to. The Acclaimed, who are really starting to grow on me. I liked them when they first started. I was starting to think that rapid gimmick has been done before, but they're starting to expand on it a little bit and turn them into songs in a way. And their dynamic as a tag team just works. And of course, MJF and Chris Jericho, part of the Inner Circle, one of the most despised tag teams, wrestlers of all time, MJF, tagging with, I would say, the unsung hero of AEW with his entrances, because everybody sings along to his song Judas by Fozzy, because it's obviously Chris Jericho's back. But I thought this match was good as well. I thought both teams were... So I thought Chris Jericho and MJF were starting to show a lot more cohesion as a tag team as they've done before. And so, well, they've done before, I should say. And this was a great tag match, to be fair. And the Acclaimed held their own as well. And now they're starting to really show what they can do in AEW. They've been there for a while now. Of course, had a shot at the AEW Tag Team Championships at one point. And they are starting to become one of the most reliable tag teams in AEW. You can't really fault what they do in the ring. Yes, the gimmick aside, but it's how they work as a tag team, and they just work. And MJF and Chris Jericho have such chemistry with each other. It's great. And this was a good tag match. I thought it was the right tag match for Chris Jericho and MJF to kind of build more momentum, as they did, because they did win the match, against a team that has kind of got momentum to begin with and can't really go wrong with this loss, I will say that. The Acclaimed. And a good tag match. And, I will say this. I wasn't a huge fan of the Judas effect, Chris Jericho's finisher, but the way he's been using it more recently has been more impactful, and it's working. So, keep it up, Chris, and thumbs up to Match 3. Next match was something on paper, when I first saw it, I thought, I am looking forward to this match, and boy, did it not disappoint. And it was Leyla Hirsch versus Thunder Rosa in the first round match for the AEW Women's Tournament, where the winner would be the #1 contender for Hikaru Shida's AEW Women's Championship. And when I heard it was Thunder Rosa versus Leyla Hirsch in the first round bracket, I immediately saw it. I thought, that is going to be good. And boy, was it. This was one of the best women's matches of the year so far. And I think, I'm not too sure if it's the first time I've ever met, but if it is, they just clicked instantly. It was just amazing wrestling from both women. Leyla Hirsch, great amateur background. Thunder Rosa is becoming one of my favourite female wrestlers to watch in AEW. And these two just had an outstanding wrestling match. Back and forth wrestling, back and forth action. And super. I think I'm not sure if it was actually the first official match of the tournament, because I know they're having matches in Japan. I'm not too sure if they've started yet, to be completely honest. But if this was the first match, it was an amazing way to kick it off. And I generally thought this match was worth the whole show alone. And I don't say that lightly, because the main event was also amazing. We'll get to that in a little bit. But overall, I just absolutely loved it. This was what wrestling can be and should be in the women's division in AEW. My hat's off to both Thunder Rosa and Leyla Hirsch for just producing an absolute cracking match. And it's what you want to see in the women's division. And they're starting to show it more in AEW, and I'm glad to see it. So you've definitely got 2 thumbs up for Thunder Rosa and for Leyla Hirsch. This was stunning. And I want to see more of this in AEW, please. So here's hoping. And this led on to the main event. And the main event, with the whole world in wrestling was talking about, Kenta and Kenny Omega versus Jon Moxley and Lance Archer in a Falls Count Anywhere no DQ match. Now, the whole world was talking about Kenta making his AEW first appearance last week when he gave the go to sleep to Jon Moxley, because, as you know, Kenta, or may not know, so I should say, Kenta is the #1 contender for the IWGP United States Championship, which Jon Moxley holds. And obviously, because of the pandemic, they could never really get a chance to wrestle face-to-face, because Kenta obviously lives in Japan. I'm pretty sure he lives in Japan, but wrestles mainly in Japan with New Japan Pro Wrestling. Jon Moxley, American, wrestles mainly in AEW. And thankfully, the pandemic has kind of subsided, and now the two can meet. And I think the fans, after Jon Moxley appearing on New Japan Pro Wrestling television, apparently to take out Kenta, was great to watch, and the fans just wanted to see this happen. and this was brilliant. As main events go, this is one of the best AEW have ever done anywhere. And considering it was a full count anyway match, I was a bit surprised to see that. I mean, Jon Moxley can go. He's a more, he can brawl. His background as a hardcore wrestler is well documented in CCW and elsewhere. And it was great to see that happen. It wasn't in the most entirely hardcore match, but all four men used the environment of Daily's Place spectacularly. And as matches go, it was a wild, stunning main event. And Kenta, I've never seen him in this kind of match before, but it looked like he belonged. That's the good thing. I've seen Lance Archer in 1 or 2 matches like this. Kenny Omega, of course, had that incredible lights out match with Jon Moxley not long ago in AEW, and one of the most brutal matches in AEW history. And of course, these two know each other so well. And I thought this main event as a whole was just absolutely amazing. All four men showed why they deserve to be there. And of course, Kenta being in this kind of match, had the interactions with Moxley. The whole world wants to see it. I want to see more of it. And of course, I have a feeling, I know for a fact that Kenta is going to be wrestling Jon Moxley on New Japan television. But I don't think this is going to be the last we see of any New Japan wrestlers in AEW. Now the doors have been opened. Maybe see more AEW wrestlers in New Japan. Impact Wrestling is working with AEW. It's all coming together, and it's great to see. And to see Kenny Omega teaming with Kenta, of course, Kenta's part of the Bullet Club. Kenny Omega, a former member of the Bullet Club. You were thinking, were they going to call themselves the Bullet Club in this? No, they didn't. I'll give credit where it's due. They didn't, because obviously, New Japan Pro Wrestling owns the name Bullet Club. But this was cracking stuff, and all four men use the environment very, very well. And to see Kenny Omega hit a one-winged angel on Lance Archer was impressive, because I've seen him do the one-winged angel many, many times, but never on a guy that size. And it was impressive, to be completely honest, and that's what won the match. To top off what was an absolutely stunning episode of Dynamite from start to finish. I thought this was one of the best episodes they've done for a while. And this year they've done some stunning stuff. And AEW, at the start of 2021, have just been slowly building, and just been, no pun intended, Dynamite to watch every single week. And it continued, and it's going to continue, I think. And the sky is not the limit, I think, for AEW at the minute. And maybe, just maybe, it could be their year as the company. So, so off to a fantastic start. So, that being said, that is it for this review. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope you liked it. And thank you so much again for watching it. I really do appreciate it. But with all that being said, bit of a faux pas to end, shall we say. But I do appreciate the view. So until next time, I'll see you then. Take care.